Hey there viewers, welcome back to Ray of All Trades. Next on the bench is a Honda Foreman. It's a 450S 1998. The issue is that it is not charging, or it wasn't charging. I cheated a little bit. I had to fix it. Then I figured out I wanted to make a video after the fact. So let me show you how to diagnose this real quick and then show you what it takes to fix it. So I've already taken the bracket off underneath the seat. Obviously I've taken the seat off. Ignore the generator, just happens to belong to the same guy. He's gonna be picking both of them up. What you can see, battery voltage, 12.6. I don't know if you guys can see that. 12.6, right? Let's see if we can start this. If you guys notice, it actually drops the voltage because it's running off of the battery. So, and it doesn't take long to discharge. I went through the process of checking the fuses underneath here. Right, there's a whole bunch of fuses under here. Then there's a main fuse under here inside this block area. All of those fuses were good. Like I said, all I can get out of it is 12 volts. So after you've checked the fuses, verify all that's good, verify your main fuse is good. Once you verify those voltage readings, the next place we're going to go to is on the right hand side of the bike. So that item right there is the voltage regulator. We're going to take it off and we're going to do some measurements real quick to see if it's the voltage regulator. Push the tab in here and lift up. It's not going to be easy to lift. Wiggle it back and forth. All right. Now you're looking at 2 pins that are close together and 3 pins that are together on the bottom row. Okay, so the 3 yellow wires, this one, and then the one in the middle are all stator wires, whereas the red and the green are battery voltage and ground. So as you're looking at the plug here, the top left is a yellow, the top right is a yellow, the center on the bottom is a yellow. So with no key, we're going to verify ohms across those and verify continuity. But with the key on, we're going to look for battery voltage across the 2 outer leads. Let's see, it looks like 12.35. And then we want to verify ground, and we want to verify the stator. So give me 1 second to turn off the key. All right, so the key's off. By the way, I don't believe that the bike will run this way. So it was just key on and not actual running. So I'm gonna go to the ohm setting. So I'm hoping that the meter's correct for you guys. Touch my 2 leads together and it's bouncing around. But if you notice, it's a it's a very low ohms as opposed to mega ohms. If I hold them in my fingers, you'll see there's like an M that keeps popping up. So anyway, it's just a low reading. That's all we're looking for. So one of these, not the red, but it should be this bottom left, should be green, and I should be able to touch the ground. Okay, so from battery ground to this bottom left, I'm seeing, well, when I have a good contact, I'm seeing 0.25 ohms. That's pretty good. I'm going to say that's actually great. All I was looking for was continuity. So that tells me I have a good ground wire to this connector. Now let's check ohms across the stator. So, and it shouldn't matter which 3 yellow wires I touch. I should get a low reading across all of them. So 0.7 on that one. One ohm, 0.7 ohms on that one. Two ohms on that one. All right, so I'm not sure if you guys could see that. All I was doing was putting an ohm reading across, checking for ohms across this yellow to that yellow, this yellow to that yellow, that yellow to that yellow, right? Just making sure that all three have a low resistance on each other. Come on, back in focus. Making sure that all three of those have a low resistance on each other. So I verified that I have positive 12 here. I verified that this ground is good to the battery. It's got a good connection to the battery. I verified that all three yellow wires connect to each other so the stator has not burned open. That would mean that this voltage regulator is bad. So because we've got good signal coming in, and that 12 volts there should have allowed, this stator should have allowed that 12 volts to come back out on that red wire and be felt on the battery. So we know that the last piece in this puzzle is the voltage regulator. So very common problem. Let's swap out the regulator. In my case again, because like I said, I've already done this once, but two 10mm nuts, excuse me, two 10mm bolts. Try to make sure there's no dirt, whatever else. This is a heat sink on here, so they do get hot. So just make sure that it's got a decent metal to connect to. You can probably put some thermal paste on the back side of it. That might help. If it's anything like this bike, there's a pretty good chance it's going to get submerged. And that thermal paste will probably start washing off. I've got very little clearance here to work in, so whoops. How come you guys didn't tell me I was putting it in upside down? That one back out. Okay, I've already put some dielectric grease inside the contacts, help them stay clean. Put the connector back on, and then if I did everything like I was supposed to, go back to DC voltage. I'm trying to get some hands-free operation here so you guys can see. Okay, I just did a full startup and didn't realize that the camera wasn't rolling. 12.9 is what I'm reading right now, just because I was at 13 volts just a second ago and the battery was recharging. So I'm expecting battery voltage to increase when the bike's running. So let me start it up, and I'm expecting that meter to go 13 and a half, something like that. In case the screen's backwards for you guys, I'm reading 12.866 right now. So let's start it up and see what we get. About 13.8 right now. Running up to 14 when I rev it up. Looks like we fixed the charging problem. That's the common problem on the Honda Foreman's voltage regulator. How to test a whole lot of them on ATVs across the board. All you're looking for is continuity through the stator. Verify that it hasn't burned open. Make sure that you have a good ground feeding the voltage regulator. And make sure you have a good positive feeding the voltage regulator. If you're missing one of those items, that voltage regulator won't work. And if you have all those items, then I would usually suspect the voltage regulator as being the first culprit. They burn up quite frequently. So you guys got anything out of the video? Really appreciate a thumbs up. Subscribe helps the channel tremendously. Catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in.